You build a small restaurant with your brother. You work hard for years to perfect a revolutionary way of making food faster than anyone else. But one day, a traveling salesman walks into your restaurant. And decades later, he becomes the man who turns your idea into one of the biggest food empires in human history. This is the story of McDonald's, and it begins long before the Golden Arches became famous. Back in 1940, in the sunny state of California, two brothers named Richard and Maurice McDonald opened a restaurant called McDonald's Barbecue. At the time, it was just another American diner. Customers parked their cars, walked inside, sat down at tables, and waited for waiters to take their orders. The menu was massive. There were barbecue sandwiches, burgers, fries, milkshakes, hot dogs, and many other meals. The brothers worked hard to keep the restaurant running smoothly. Business was decent, but it wasn't anything extraordinary. However, after years of observing their customers, the brothers started noticing a pattern. Most people were not ordering everything on the menu. In fact, a huge portion of customers came for just one thing: hamburgers. That simple realization would soon change the future of fast food forever. In 1948, the McDonald brothers made a bold decision. Instead of offering dozens of menu items, they completely redesigned their restaurant. They removed waiters. They removed most of the food choices. They simplified everything down to a small list of popular items: hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, soft drinks, milk, coffee, and pies. But the real innovation was not the food. It was how the food was made. The brothers designed their kitchen like an assembly line, inspired by the production methods used in car factories. Each worker had only one job. One person grilled burgers. Another added toppings. Another wrapped the food. Every movement in the kitchen was planned carefully, so that food could be prepared as quickly as possible. The result was revolutionary. Customers no longer had to wait long for their meals. Instead of waiting several minutes, they could receive their food in seconds. And because the system was so efficient, the brothers were able to sell their hamburgers for only 15 cents. The idea worked incredibly well. Customers loved the speed. They loved the low price. And the restaurant became extremely popular. But despite their success, the McDonald brothers had a simple vision. They were happy running just one restaurant. They never imagined their idea would spread across the world. Then, in 1954, something unexpected happened. A man named Ray Kroc visited the restaurant. Ray Kroc was not a chef. He was not a restaurant owner. He was actually a milkshake machine salesman. One day, Kroc noticed something unusual in his sales records. A small restaurant in California had ordered 8 milkshake machines at once. That was extremely rare. Curious, Kroc decided to visit the restaurant to see what was going on. When he arrived, he immediately noticed something different. Customers were lined up outside. Orders were moving quickly. The kitchen worked with incredible precision. Everything was organized like a machine. Ray Kroc watched the system carefully, and within minutes, he realized something important. This was not just a restaurant. This was a system that could change the restaurant industry forever. Kroc believed the concept could be replicated across the entire country, and possibly the entire world. Ray Kroc approached the McDonald brothers with an idea. He suggested expanding the restaurant through franchising. That meant other people could open McDonald's locations using the same system, the same menu, and the same brand. At first, the brothers were unsure. But eventually, they agreed to let Ray Kroc lead the expansion. In 1955, Ray Kroc opened his first franchised McDonald's restaurant in Des Plaines, Illinois. This restaurant introduced a new visual design. The building was bright red and white, and on the sides were two large glowing arches. These arches later became the famous Golden Arches, one of the most recognizable symbols in the world. From that point on, McDonald's began to grow rapidly. More restaurants opened, more customers arrived, and the system proved to be incredibly successful. Within just 10 years, the number of McDonald's restaurants grew to about 700 locations across the United States. What started as a single burger stand had turned into a nationwide chain. But success also brought conflict. Ray Kroc believed the business could become one of the largest restaurant companies in history. The McDonald brothers, however, were more cautious. They preferred slower growth and tighter control. Their visions for the future were very different. Eventually, Ray Kroc decided to take control of the company. He bought the McDonald brothers' remaining ownership in the business. After that moment, McDonald's expansion accelerated even faster. In 1965, the company became publicly traded on the stock market. Investors poured money into the business, and new restaurants opened across the country. Ray Kroc focused heavily on maintaining strict standards. He believed every McDonald's restaurant should follow the same core principles: quality, service, cleanliness, and value. To make sure these standards were followed everywhere, Kroc created something unusual. In 1961, he founded a training center called Hamburger University. There, franchise owners and managers were taught exactly how to run a McDonald's restaurant. Everything was standardized: how long burgers were cooked, how fries were prepared, how employees greeted customers. This consistency allowed McDonald's to expand quickly while maintaining the same experience everywhere. Soon, the company began expanding internationally. In 1967, McDonald's opened its first restaurants outside the United States in Canada and Puerto Rico. From there, the brand spread across the world. Today, McDonald's operates in more than 100 countries, with tens of thousands of restaurants serving millions of customers every day. The Golden Arches have become one of the most recognizable symbols on the planet. And it all started with two brothers who simply wanted to make hamburgers faster, and one salesman who saw a global empire hiding inside a small burger stand.